It is August 22nd, 2011. I'm Walter Hang. I'm here in Jamestown. Please tell me your name and your address.
My name is David Ferrugia. I live at 2641 Donaldson Road, in Contaminated, New York.
Okay. And I understand you've had a problem with a well that you think was impacted by natural gas drilling. Why don't you tell me about it?
Well, back in '02 when we first built, we had our well drilled, and the well driller, after he drilled, told us that the water was some of the softest water he drilled for, and about 2 years after, we noticed a smell. We also noticed pitting on our glasses in the dishwasher, an orange residue in our shower when we were showering, and we decided that we needed to contact somebody in regards to find out what was going on with our water, because we had no idea.
Now, you had your water tested because there was a company that was going to begin drilling some natural gas wells in the area, and that testing showed that your water was indeed high quality, correct?
Yes, it was.
So then you discovered this problem, and then you later learned that a well had been drilled very close to your home. How
Yes.
close was it?
It was 319 feet away from our well casing for our water well.
So you essentially believe that your well got impacted by this natural gas well that had been drilled, and you called the company to retest your water, correct?
Correct.
And what did that subsequent testing identify?
All the levels had skyrocketed. The sodium levels, magnesium, everything that they've tested for, all the levels had tripled or quadrupled.
And then what did the company say?
They basically told us when we confronted them about it that they had nothing to do, it wasn't their fault.
And you had your attorneys write them a letter, and what happened?
We got no response.
Now, your wife works for the county, and essentially you really didn't know what to do, and then eventually she reached out to her health department colleagues, and they began to get involved, correct?
Correct.
And so what happened?
She contacted a gentleman named Bill Boria. He ended up coming up to our home, and he measured the distance from our water well to the well that they drilled. He also took into consideration the brine that they use for the winter for the roads, which was downhill from our well, and also the septic system, which was also downhill. So he eliminated either one of those issues being a cause of the problem.
And then he wrote to the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, and what happened?
They ended up getting in contact with me and coming up, and I met with them. They looked over the situation. They walked around the property line and basically told me that their findings were that there was shifting in the shale below the ground level, and that was causing the contamination of the water.
Now, they didn't actually conduct a subsurface investigation to document that there actually had been shifting in the shale. That was just a hypothesis.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then did they help you treat your water, purify your water, clean up the source of the contamination and anything like that?
No help was offered.
And how long has it been now that you haven't been able to drink your water because of these high contaminant levels?
I'd say pretty 4.5 years now. We've been buying bottled water.
And were you disappointed that the DEC basically just washed their hands of this situation, even though the gas driller in the area had baseline testing data showing originally your water was very high quality, and then after the drilling began, there was a spike in the pollutant levels, and essentially your water basically couldn't be consumed safely? Were you unhappy that they didn't do more?
Oh, absolutely. I was expecting them to come up and listen to my story and do an investigation to find out what was the cause or the root of the problem. And basically I felt as though the door was slammed in my face. They never got in touch with me again, and I haven't heard from them since.
Now, New York State has said that its existing gas drilling regulations are totally adequate to safeguard public health and the environment. Do you believe that assertion?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Not after what we've gone through the last 5 to 7 years.
And it's my understanding that even your veterinarian said don't let your dogs drink the water?
That's correct. Yes, the sodium levels were so high in our water that the veterinarian had told us that it could cause kidney failure in our pets, to stop using the water for them.
And you understand that this so-called brine, this produced water that very likely could have impacted your well, not only has sodium, chloride, toxic metals, but it also can have petroleum hydrocarbons such as benzene, which is a known human cancer-causing agent, and it also can contain radionuclides. Is that also a concern that there hasn't been comprehensive testing of your water?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it'll affect my body as a whole with all those chemicals being present in the water system that were never there prior. Oh, absolutely.
Now, our governor, Andrew Cuomo, has said that he wouldn't tolerate any gas drilling that would threaten major sources of public drinking water, such as the groundwater that your well draws from. But given that the DEC has simply not taken your concerns seriously, they've just dismissed all of your concerns, and they haven't in any way solved your problem, do you have anything to say to the rest of New York that's looking at Marcellus Shale horizontal hydrofracking on a huge scale?
Yeah, I would recommend that people do a little more homework in regards to what your government is supposedly going to approve with this Marcellus Shale drilling. The Marcellus Shale drilling is 100 times worse than what I'm going through right now with what they did with the vertical drilling for the gas well next to me. I'd hate for people to not be able to enjoy one of the luxuries of life that keeps people alive, and that's water. And our government, by doing what they're doing, could be taking away a prime luxury that we need to survive.
When you bought your home and you moved here, did you know anything about the nearby gas drilling? Was
No.
that a concern?
No, we knew nothing about it. It started after we purchased the home. They've drilled, I want to think it's 7 wells bordering our property lines within the 9 years we've been here.
And so, on a final note, for the rest of New York, where there could be 50,000 Marcellus Shale horizontal wells that are hydrofracked in the years to come, what would you say? Do you think that New York State can safeguard New Yorkers from this, or do you have concerns?
They can safeguard them by not letting them do it. Keep our environment safe. It's the only thing we have left.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.